right moment will come and these things will be in the past.
Nigeria is a work in progress. Segun, I want you to pick up from there. You agree or disagree as you tell us, your state of your mind concerning the state of the nation?
Thank you very much. I want to align with him that Nigeria, and indeed every nation of the world, is a work in progress. But one thing I want to ask of Nigerians is for us to give the government a chance. Give the government the benefit of the doubt. This was not where we were when the administration came in. If we got to where we were before the administration came in, there is no way that we will not get to where we are for us to get out of where we are. So yes, some of the problems were created by the policies of the current administration. But if we are to be where we all want the country to be, we have to pass through this stage. Look at the chaotic situation that we were having in the CBN with the Naira and the dollar. Look at the serious situation of oil subsidy and a good number of very bad situations that we were in. Something drastic had to be done for us to be able, and they call it reforms. Every nation does reforms, and nobody ever told us that reforms are palatable. But if we continue to antagonize the reforms, fight against every policy of government, and bring it to the level of politics at all times, now it's like we want to continue to drag the nation forward, backward. I believe that, I believe that we should just give
the government a chance.
The benefit of the doubt.
Okay, so I know a lot of people have divergent views when it comes to the very last part of the discussion, and it's like a meal for another party, a forum where we can actually discuss that particular belief that you just given to us this morning. But I know a lot of people will tell you something different. All right, let us start now with the matrix, the screaming headlines on the matrix. That is where I want to begin our discussion this morning. Rivers crisis in some Wike Fubara new war of words. This is not new. Wike and Fubara, they've been in the news like forever. But before, just as a guide to our discussion with withdrawal, Fubara has agreed he spent Rivers money illegally. That statement is credited to Wike. Well, Fubara has its own answer why we withdrew appeal that Orchins are celebrating. That is Fubara. Maintains Oko Jumbo remains Rivers' authentic speaker. Supreme Court ruling has affirmed Anire as authentic speaker, says a lawyer. Look, we can go on and on with the drama going on, in that state. But let me start with Segun, your take on the Rivers crisis, the unfolding story.
Well, we should just continue to plead with the gladiators in the interest of the state and its people. When two elephants fight, they say it is the grass that suffers. When we talk of the grass now, we're talking of the state and its people. I believe that wisdom at one point or the other will prevail, especially with what the Supreme Court's ruling is. I believe that the two parties will agree at one point to begin to talk. So while the lawyer will talk about the issue as to the interpretation of what the Supreme Court ruled, and but I just want to appeal to both Wike and Fubara for them to just sheath their sword and allow peace to reign in that state.
Talking about shooting of swords, this war has been on for like forever, and as an African man never talks without a parable. You just giving us a picture of it's just running in my mind of the elephant and of course the grass, and that battle has gone on for too long, if you ask me. And at the end of the day, the people are at the receiving end, and of course Nigerians who are particular about what goes on in that state also get dragged along with the emotions that come from there. So Tochukwu, I want your take. Like Segun has rightly said, it's a good thing that we have a lawyer in the house. Give us an interpretation of the legal aspect of the situation. The emerging situation in Rivers.
Thank you very much once again. If you look at what is happening in Rivers State, there are two sides of the coin to this situation. One is the legal aspect, and the other side is the political aspect. Now, if you look at the legal aspect, there are, taken from the rulings of the Supreme Court, there are two types of judgments in law. You have declaratory judgment and executory judgment. Now, declaratory judgment, for instance, is where you say that you want the court to declare that Mr. Segun is wearing a blue shirt today in this studio. That's a declaratory judgment. Now, executory judgment, executory judgment is where you say that today you don't want Uthman Tochukwu to appear on KAFTANTV henceforth. That's the executory judgment. You see, the two difference is that declaratory judgment doesn't have to be executed because it's a fact, it's a statement of fact that Segun is putting on a blue shirt. But executory judgment, you have to execute it. You have to bar me from coming to KAFTANTV henceforth. So now, if you look at the rulings that comes out of the Supreme Court, when it didn't fall either declaratory or executory, it is just an order. It's not a judgment. It's an order of court. And what the court said was that since the person who brought the application to us is now telling us that he's no longer interested in pursuing his case, then we cannot be Father Christmas to give you what you did not ask for.
Outside
yes, that's what the court is. The court is not a Father Christmas. It's only Father Christmas that give you what you did not ask for. Since you've said this application you don't want to continue, on the basis of that, we are now ruling that you should withdraw your case and then you guys should go back home and be friends. And that is what it has become. So it's not a judgment because it's not executory, neither is it declaratory. It's just an order of court that they should go back home and be friends and be friends. But what the Electoral Act said with regards to, what animated the real issue was, the fact that some members of the State House of Assembly decided to leave the political party through which they came to power, and then it migrated to the other political party. So on the basis of that, what the Electoral Act says that the moment you leave the political party that brought you into power, the word used was shall. You shall cease to become a member of that political party and also cease to legitimately occupy the particular position.
But of course, that shall that you said in code, I really love the way you did it. Shall. Let's take a look at that shall in the Nigerian context. And I know that did not play out eventually.
Yes, in the context of
it didn't play out eventually.
Exactly. In the context of the word shall, the moment you leave or you move to another political party, that word shall does not require any court, including the Supreme Court, to interpret it. The shall is automatically activated. You cease to become a member of that political party. You also cease to holding the particular position that you are in. But like I said, it's a two-angle side of coin, political and the legal aspect. The politics of the office, right, that surrounds the circumstances of what happened in Rivers State has a lot more to do than the legality, and I think this is where the controversy lies.
One thing I've discovered about this rivers crisis is that a lot of law books are going to come out. A lot of law books are going to come out from the situation, the rivers situation, and it's not one that anyone is going to forget in a hurry. I just want to ask you, Segun, the lawyer has spoken. We are the Nigerians, because this people, he has given us so many terms where you have a situation where you have the constitution telling you shall, and somehow these same players are still sitting there like business as usual. What are the implications on the people of the state on the long run? Not the immediate, what we see just close to our nose, in your opinion?
There are precedents, and very many of them in the Nigerian situation. It played out in the National Assembly, played out as State Assembly. It happened almost everywhere in the country. So what the Rivers lawmakers, the 27 of them, are doing is by the Nigerian, although it's an anomaly to the Constitution, it's not strange to us as Nigerians, as they hate, unfortunately. So what is the implication on the Nigerian people? Well, if you go to Rivers today and ask people on the streets, you see those that are voting for the 27 lawmakers. You see those that are on the side of Fubara. But one thing I know is that we are our own masters. It is because the people of Rivers State are still romancing with either side. That's why we still have what we have. We've not really seen a situation where we hear the clear cut what the Rivers people are saying about this whole thing.
Is it the Rivers people or the powers that be? When you have a constitution that is flouted?
I think that it's very unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate that things has to go this way. Laws are meant for the people and not the other way around. And we make the country, we make the nation, and every nation is built upon something, God knows, which is the constitution when you come to Nigeria. Now, where the rule of law does not appear to play within this political circle, it becomes a very big challenge whether we can actually move forward as a nation. If the constitution clearly states that a particular thing should be so, I do not think that anybody, no matter who you are, because the rule of law provides that all are equal before it, regardless of the position you occupy, right? Regardless of who you are in the society, the law is applicable to you as much as applicable to the other person. So if the law says this is what it is, like in this case, that the moment you leave your political party, the position through which the political party brought you to power ceases to become yours. That is the position of the law. You have to carry your bag and baggage, the way we say in Nigeria, and quietly leave. Yes, and then that for the process will be declared vacant. And another people will have to vie for the office. If you choose to come back to vie for the office through your new party, fine. But let us understand that this is what the law has said. And that is what animated this whole grievances. Because by the time these members decamped, they declared their position, their seat vacant, and the number of the remaining people in the house were not legally enough to qualify the proceedings that would be conducted within the house, and the proceedings were still ongoing. So it was as a result of those proceedings that were conducted by those few members. Yes, the law says no, you are not qualified to conduct the proceedings. As such, they have to activate the court. The court. And of course, we all know what we're on right now. So, gentlemen, it is time for us to hear the voice of the people. If you're watching the press this morning, this is your show. Like you know, we're opening the phone lines right about now. Please do call in and
have your say, on the matters. We have lots of trending issues away from the various crises. We want to take a look at Atiku Tambuwal visits others, of course, or Obasanjo, which has sparked fresh debate. You can get that story on the Tribune if we can show you the Tribune this morning. But not to worry, the phone lines are open. Please call in so your views can be heard also. So, gentlemen, let us go to another very sensitive, very interesting story that is trending this morning, and not just this morning, something that happened before. Atiku Tambuwal, others visits to Obasanjo sparks fresh debate. I wasn't at Obasanjo's house because of 2027 Atiku. I won't talk about 2027 Obasanjo, but a lot of people say this is more political than a friendly visit. Atiku, we all know, the relationship between these two giants of Africa. Of course, we all know the opposition growing and just pumping itself, towards 2027, and now we're having these meetings. Of course, the ruling party being on one side. There's a lot going on in the polity. I want to start with Segun once again. This visits to Atiku Tambuwal to Obasanjo. Do you think it's for tea, to ask him for his house, or is something beyond that?
I think the big shots will likely tell you that it's for tea and to ask for his health. But we all know why they are visiting. When we are some few months or few years to elections, this is how the gladiators gather. The eagles are gathered now. So we know the reason why they are gathering. We know that even though the former president says he's out of partisan politics, he still remains a very, very potent voice in Nigeria today and in the world. So if anybody wants to start any new thing, like we know they are planning mergers here and there, associations, and they are forming new friends across the Niger. So they need to brief, let me not say seek his support. They need to brief him and ask for his blessings. That's why they are in Abeokuta. No others. So if they tell us any other thing, we know why they are there.
So Tochukwu, I can see you smiling.
That tool does not run in the afternoon in vain. It's either something is pursuing it, or it's pursuing something. So in this context, I think that for me, I don't want to be pessimistic about the political future of Nigeria, especially looking at it from the side of the opposition. The opportunity presented itself in 2023, and they decided to break apart and pursue their own different desires. There's nothing that will change as far as their selfish interest is concerned. As far as they don't bring the Nigeria problem to table and say, we want to do this for Nigeria's cause and not for my own cause, this problem will not be solved. I'm not averse to all their consultations, because look at the trajectory in 2023. You had P2B, you had Kwankwaso, and you had Atiku Abubakar, and all of them were in one party. You could imagine what would have happened if they could have just settled their heads and give that ticket to one of them, and the other two supported it. The election would have been won on a very wide margin if you look at the statistics. But they decided to break away when the opportunity was there for them to put their house in order. Is it now that PDP cannot even put their house in order? Look at what happened at the last summit. They were fighting at the PDP secretariat with who is going to be the national secretary and all of that. So they cannot put their house in order to fight like opposition should do. So I see 2027 as already done deal for APC, because APC are more together within their party than the PDP, whom we are looking at as strong opposition, unlike other mushroom parties. Sorry to use the word mushroom. But I think that it's a good thing it's a normal thing to consult. Of course, we know that in his own right as Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president. He's a statesman, and regardless of whether or not they are in opposition, people will still go to Abeokuta to consult him.
But I want to believe that this new group that is trying to form they are serious. They are very serious about it, and they are likely to get something out. But just like you said, it will be a little too late for them to be able to pull any serious stunts with the stature of the APC now, with everybody from all political divides trying to decamp to the party. It will be very, very difficult. So but don't let them gather.
It's an interesting time.
Let them gather.
Please call in. I think we missed a call from Port Harcourt. Please do call in and be part of the discussion this morning. So I think we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, ma. Barrister, good morning. Mr. Segun, good morning. You are SND from Lagos.
You're calling from Lagos. What's your name, please?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. SND calling from Lagos. Ma.
SMD?
Yeah, exactly, ma. Exactly. Thank you very much.
Okay, SMD, please go ahead. What are your contributions this morning?
Yeah, thank you. There is this headline. I don't know whether if you capture the headline from the Daily Trust that talk about the police retirement policy sector. I don't know. Thank God Barrister is there and one of our social analysts is there. You will agree with me. There are so many in our social life in Nigeria which it has to do with respect to the rules of law. I don't know, Barrister, for how long shall we remain in this present predicament? In 2018, there is issue between the police ID and the police service commission, which lasted to 2 years before the Supreme Court made a ruling on the July 2023 that the police service commission has the power to recruit and so on and so forth. But up to that 2018, which the former president said in each year 10,000 police constables will be recruited till 6 years. Ever since that pronouncement, we only took 20,000 police officers. Now the retirement saga, which some of the officers are supposed to retire, took the issue to industrial court. For how long should we remain in this present predicament? Does that mean that we don't respect the institutions? Does that mean that we don't have respect for law? I mean, for how long? This is worrisome. Many times, many police have been killed. Then they need to, I don't know, honestly speaking, this thing is hitting me. It's hitting me. Shall we remain in this present predicament that our custodians of law, the policy makers will not respect the rule of law, and they are expecting Nigerians to respect the rules of law? Now, officers are supposed to retire by last week. They now took the issue to industrial court, that is called tenure extension for the ID. Does that mean that it was the only ID who can handle the situation of the police officers? Does that mean that the younger officers are supposed to be in that position? They are not competent? Is that the message that the constitutional, the policy makers are sending to Nigerians, and they want us to believe them? We don't have any other country than Nigeria, and security is the cardinal objective of each and every government. Therefore, we should face the reality. The reality of these things comes naturally from the way you think, the way you feel, the way you observe, and the way you act. So the time of acting is now. Now let us do the action. For God's sake. We don't have any other country than Nigeria.
Thank you, CMD.
It's a collective responsibility. Together we must do it. We have to be patriotic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, CMD. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your call. And this CMD has actually directed that to the lawyer to help understand, we the layman to understand what's going on.
I thank CMD for raising the issue. It has actually been on the public debate. But you see, what happens is that if you feel that your right has been infringed upon, right, the only time the court can intervene is when you activate the court and put it on motion, right? If you feel that you were removed out of office illegally when your tenure has not elapsed, you have the right to seek redress with the appropriate authority. But when you don't do that, right, like we say in law, equity does not aid the indolent. Equity aids the vigilant. How does equity aid the vigilant? That your right has been infringed upon and you want to activate your right to ask the court to determine whether or not your right has not been infringed upon and seek your orders appropriately, and the court will hear you on the basis of that. But where your right has been infringed upon and you go home and relax, people can only shout until you go to court. The court cannot do it.
Now, Tochukwu, CMD raised at this point, this is an issue that has been on the ground for a while now. He did say, I'm not aware of the statistics. He said they're supposed to have employed 20,000 police recruits, but the other officers are just holding on and not leaving, and probably that would be the reason why there is no room, for the new intakes. I don't know if you feel it is right without assumption.
The Commission actually has the mandate within the law to recruit police officers across Nigeria, right? But now, whether or not they have the capacity, you see, one thing is to say, recruit 30,000, recruit 20,000 every year. But what is the capacity in terms of budget at the Police Service Commission to do that? It is within their budget that will determine whether they have the capacity to absorb some of these officers. Everybody knows it's not a news that we are short of policemen. After all, the ones we have, majority of them are serving the elites. One minister has almost 5 police officers, and we'll have about 40-something ministers. If he share five police officers across the 40-something ministers that we'll have,
and their friends.
And so how do we now talk about the remaining ones to serve about over 200 million people in Nigeria? So we are short of policemen, that is for sure. But whether the Police Service Commission has the enough budgetary allocation to recruit these numbers every year is another issue, which we don't have the statistics now. But it is correct for us to begin to interrogate some of these issues. We may just write to the Police Service Commission to say, what is going on? Why are we not meeting up to these numbers every year as have been declared? Then we could hear from their own side. Otherwise, some of this may be a kind of speculative.
Segun, you have something you want to add to this?
It goes again beyond the capacity of the Police Service Commission.
Please, Segun, we have a call. Okay. Please. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from? Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
My name is Mohammed. I'm calling from Maiduguri.
Oh, Mohammed, good morning. How is Maiduguri this morning?
Well, we thank God that we continue to pray for the whole Nigeria.
Amen to that. So, what is your take, or what are your contributions this morning?
My take is, one of the newspaper headlines is talking about the improvement of Naira value.
Yes.
When I heard of it, I was so overjoyed, happy about Naira is picking up. But my observation here is this. The crisis in America, the Donald Trump pursuing of illegal migrants and any is now making sense to Nigerians to start appreciating our Naira more than continue to worship dollar, as many Nigerians are worshiping dollar. And I'm one of the advocates of we should love what we have. We should not continue to pursue shadow. In Nigeria we are very vibrant those days. We love ourselves. But unfortunately, because of some of our politicians, lack of foresight, we abandon what we have and start expecting mirage that does not even come. Direct foreign investment, so many funny names we are hearing it. Honestly, nothing good more than what you have. If you can bring garri with sugar in your house and bring your mouth, nobody will invent what is sugar you are don't know what give us that kind of political leader that don't have the reason with along with us. That is what is giving us all this one. So there are a few political leaders that are having some God fearing, but many of them they don't have that God fearing. That is why they change our money, take it abroad, and leave us with other asset property. It is not it's a man-made though, it's not God-made, it's man-made. So I'm appealing to you people in Abuja, talk to them, all the leaders are in Abuja, they are hearing us. Let them look inward. Let us look inward and improve on our living standard in every aspect. It's not one particular thing or education, maybe everything requires improvement. And everything look inward. If we can look inward, in fact, we can achieve what we want to achieve better. But if we cannot use our foundation, don't think okay can be able to use without foundation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mohammed. We appreciate your contributions this morning. Thank you. Yes, I think we have more calls coming in this morning. But I would want, okay, let's take another call before we react to Mohammed's contribution. Okay, we lost that call. So, Naira appreciating, he said, out of all the headlines we took this morning, that was the one that caught his attention.
Yes.
Before we do that, please let's take this call. Good morning. Please, can we meet you? Who is calling and where are you calling from?
Good morning, good morning, my sister. Good morning, my name is Tochukwu from Fubara.
Where are you calling from, please, Mazi? Tochukwu. Yes, I've been to Tochukwu some years ago. Yes. Wonderful, beautiful place. Your contribution, please.
Thank God that today is but I want to look at the big picture and the picture of the stories. The legality are not like legality about the river state.
Okay.
I only look at the angle that has to do with our constitution. In the sense that the events are a lot. So the judgment because it's bringing up people should interpret or should look into the case as it has to do with between January and December. The judgment, they are subject to them. The budget for 2024 is booked. That was the true start. We are now in 2025. Let us move forward. Honestly speaking, whether it's the only 3 or 4 or 5% that pass the budget or not pass the budget, we will take that. Something like that happened in River State. Now, when the four of these steps as the governor, there was another promotion in Anambra that time, before the start of authority. There is a lot of corruption in our system in terms of political programs in state. Now, we have to be very careful. The different systems in this country is shaking. I start asking myself, do people pass through law school or law school pass through them? Now, let me go, the person going to report happened over the weekend as well. Trump, our friend, the tower at the district border, said, God, if the NGO is suspended. What happened? The NGOs were went to court. The court said that the Constitution of America did not have anything, that did not say anything that you should ban this issue of NGO. That NGO is embedded in the Constitution of the United States of America. Everybody obeyed it. People in the executive and the state house obeyed it. What did they say? They said they're going to appeal. That is normal. But here in Nigeria, everything will come now. Every constitution now. God will give their own judgment. Minister of Justice will give their own judgment. The state will give the political to them. It doesn't make sense. Honestly speaking, but they say that judiciary is the last tool of the common man of the country. Now what will happen? Please, let us maintain that status. Anything the court says is final, we stick to it. We stick to our own people power. Because only a leap from what happened in America. The NGO they have come by the over 1,000 people that we told to go money. All of them will show what within 24 hours after that judgment. That is it. That is how it should be. Now look at our brother now becoming. The court gives judgment, see how they are doing. We have to be very careful because when you remove the ladder, when they are coming down, I wonder when that is why it's not good to say the goal post. Then the goal post, hey. After that, good morning, my sister. Good morning.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you. We appreciate your call. So, Mazi took us back to Port Harcourt, and of course, other parts, not just Port Harcourt. He did drop Nnamdi Kanu, which I wanted us to talk about. We should talk about it if we have the time. But let us quickly put a pause to our calls and react to the Naira, the question that I asked you, the fact that Mohammed from Maiduguri said, you know, in all of it, he picked the fact that the Naira was appreciating to the dollar, and giving advice that Nigerians should stop chasing after the dollar, but look inward to see on how we can improve the Naira over more. Yes. I want your take on this.
I think it's just like Mohammed said, it's heartwarming that the Naira is appreciating or is doing very well against the other foreign currencies. It's to the benefit of the economy and every Nigerian. Because most of the things that we consume are denominated in dollars and other foreign currencies. Again, we need to continue to walk the talk, ensuring that we continue to produce. While we continue to produce, Nigerians must continue to buy Nigeria.
Made in Nigerian goods.
Made in Nigerian goods.
Why is that important? Why is that important for Nigerians to begin to look inward, buy made in Nigerian goods? And what effect would that have in the growth of the Naira?
When you buy made in Nigerian goods, you are empowering the Nigerian producers to expand and employ more Nigerians. But when you buy foreign goods, you are taking the little amount of money, foreign exchange that we have in Nigeria, you are taking it to empower the industries abroad and ensuring that they employ their own people for expansion. Which one is better for Nigeria? Of course, we need to buy Nigeria again. There's one very ugly thing that is happening, and it's been on for a while. And it is happening even in our state houses, government houses in the states. It is the dollar that they spend there. Have you ever seen any of their functionaries, especially the executives?
But there's been a ban on that for last year. There's been a ban on that.
The man that called from Tochukwu just told you. You ban this in Nigeria. The courts make pronouncements on,
but we don't adhere to them.
We don't follow. Nobody listens. There are so many court judgments that are just on the paper, just warming the books. Nobody implements them. You understand? So we have to ensure that even our government spends the Naira. Everything should be the local currency should be the money for exchange. You know, but when they go to parties, especially our wives, our first ladies, they spray the dollars, which is not good. It's not good for the economy. It's not good socially too.
So I was just looking for the headline on Nnamdi Kanu because our Mazi mentioned that this morning. Of course, the information I got was that Kanu is actually asking that his case be moved to the east. And of course, we got the reports that there was a lot of brouhaha, a lot of pushing and pulling in the courts where Kanu raised some objections. I want us to talk a little bit. I know that case is in court. I know that Mazi mentioned it, but the papers carried it today. Just from the legal viewpoint, do you think it is possible that once again this request by Kanu will be listened to?
Well, as a lawyer, I will need to make a caveat before
mentioning, since it's still,
the matter is still pending.
It's still pending, yes.
That could amount to a sub judice.
Yes.
So we need to make comments. But I know.
So all protocols observed. Yes.
The court does not operate like human beings, even though they are manned by human beings. what you hear from outside, like the caller said, that the court one time used to be the last hope of the common man. Nothing has changed.
Yes.
You can't approach courts based on emotions. The court will always be the court, and look at what the law is. The matter came up, I think, yesterday and was adjourned indefinitely. So until subsequent date, the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is saying that a particular judge, Binitie, my lord, should excuse herself on the case. And if that happens, what it would mean is that they have to reassign the matter to another judge to take it up. And before those administrative bureaucracy could happen, it means that the accused person facing trial had to remain in custody pending when those administrative bureaucracy are settled and the matter reassigned to a new judge. But until that happens, the pronouncement of the court is that he should remain in the custody pending the determination of his trial. There is no way the court will agree with him to be tried in the southeast, because the matter had already commenced in Abuja in the High Court, and that's where it's going to be pending when my lord on his own discretion feels, this time the CJ will feel that he may have to be tried elsewhere within the jurisdiction of Nigeria, either in Southeast or in other places. But for now, if the court does not find any inconvenience in Abuja where he's currently being tried, I do not think that they are going to shift.
Now, if we take a look at the Observer's Times, I'm not sure we took that on the news today. We have this headline that says judiciary must address persistent allegations of inefficiency, delayed justice, bias, and of course this is credited to the CJN. He made that pronouncement, and fine, we have a lawyer in here. If going by what Mazi said, do you think, seriously, do you think Mazi saying what he said concerning the rule of law and of course justice, the service of justice, like you guys have spoken about today, is from a sentimental point of view, or is the reality of Nigerians?
No, I will not say it's on a sentimental point of view. I would rather use the word looking at it from outside. Right, as a legal practitioner who is part of the system, who goes to court every day, I could tell you that the current judicial system has been mined by my Lord Honorable Justice Kekoreku, the CJN, Chief Justice of Nigeria. Recently, she issued a new directive that before you come to Supreme Court to file an application, the way it used to be is that you have to apply to seek leave, that's permission for court to allow you to bring your application. But because of that delay, when you make such application before, the court may even take up to 1 month to hear the application, and the main issue has not been heard because you need to get a permission for the main issue to be
heard.
So when she came, she saw all those things. Because of the delays and all the bureaucracies, she had to cut it off. That henceforth, no more application for leave to appeal. Once you have been given a date for your appeal, bring your application, take a date, and your appeal is heard expeditiously. So all this issue of saying there is delay in justice and there is delay in this and that, it's not really the fact when you are in the system. Of course, we have some little hitches here and there, because up to today, as I talk to you, some of our courts still record in long hands. When we are making submissions to my lord is writing with a pen and paper. So there's no audio record that takes you, directly on what you say and putting it in writing. You have to take it slowly, and some of those things are some of the reforms we are calling for. Yes, and I think that by the time we begin to have that conversation, it's going to also, aid our speedy justice.
Judges cases too. There is a problem. A judge having about 25 matters to listen to.
Yes. What about the lawyer spoken? What about this allegation and accusation of bias when it comes to the delivery of justice?
No, I think that
Segun, I want Segun as, we are the layman. I want his reaction to that. Do you agree to this, and to what extent?
I believe that I believe so much in the Nigerian judicial system, and then we've had some very brilliant judges that have sat on the bench in Nigeria. We have very illustrious male and female judges that have presided over very many cases of that have come up with landmark judgments. But they're human beings, just like you said, operating a system. So there will be very good heads, and there will be some very, very small bad eggs too. So while I'm not saying that the judicial system is perfect, but I don't believe that we should continue to vilify them the way we are doing. No. It's not right. It's not good. I believe that yes, mistakes can be made in some areas. I believe that and the NJC has done a very good job in ensuring that the discipline of erring judges in some cases where they are found. So I believe, just like I said at the initial stage of this program, we should give the various reforms that are going on in every facet of our life. We should give it a chance. I know that those that are at the helm of affairs in Nigeria's judiciary, like Justice Kekere Akunda, he has mentioned, meant very well for this country and the judicial system. So we should give them a chance.
The phone lines are so open. You can call in and be heard. The phone lines are open. We want you to call in so we can hear from the street parliamentarians, as we love to call them. Let's talk about something that affects all of us, which is the new electricity tariff. The headline says, Business Day says, new electricity tariff soon shocking consumers. Every daybreak, there is always something happening. When I was growing up, there used to be this cartoon that we watch on TV from NTA then. It's called Camelot. And you see one of the nights usually opens it, and it'll tell you there's something always going on in Camelot. And every morning I wake up, or we wake up as Nigerians, there's always something happening. And one of those that affects the common man, as we call ourselves, is this new electricity tariff. Telecoms, they just seem to be fine. You've said we should be patient with this present government in terms of reforms. The Segun, please. Every day we wake up, there's always something new, and it has to do with money, and it affects our lives as Nigerians. And I don't know, new electricity tariff again at this time. In fact, let me go to Tochukwu, because you just finished talking. Tochukwu, I really want you to, throw some light into this possible reality facing us.
I think that oftentimes I found myself engaging with some stakeholders, and we try to suggest that this current hydraulic power system that we are using will no longer do us in this 21st century. It is time for federal government to look into an alternative energy. Go to Yapo's farm in Adamawa. I've heard that for over 7 years, there have been uninterrupted power supply in that farm.
Over 7 years?
Yes.
How?
So I don't know, but someone who happened to be one of the ideas that brought power to that farm for that long period of time, they have not been. They are cut off the grid. They are not on the national grid. It means that there is an alternative to power that they are using in that farm. Light does not go off. What is happening? I think there is need for federal government to send some delegations to go and study what is going on in that farm. Several places across the globe, they no longer use this type of our power generating system. It's like a secondary, side of power generation. So let's think alternative to power. There are several things that could give us access to power in Nigeria. God has blessed us with good sun. Solar energy is there. Now you can even generate power through wind. I don't know. And some of these things are untapped in Nigeria. I think this is the only thing that can save us from this consistent.
Time is not our friend on the show just when it was getting exciting. I think it's time for us to call it a day. But before we go, as we round up, I would just want Segun just a few seconds to give us his final word or final take as we round up. Just a few seconds. We don't have time at all.
Generation is a problem. Power generation is a problem, like he has mentioned. Distribution is a bigger problem. Distribution, the discos. Many of them have been alleged that since they took over the various companies, they've not added anything to it. In fact, they are even telling the consumers to buy them transformers, and we pay hugely for meters.
So what message do you have?
I believe that the reforms too the reforms of government should be hugely focused
on that
power sector.
Well, I want to thank my guests this morning, and I also want to thank we had 3 callers who called in: CMD from Lagos, Mohammed from Maiduguri, and Mazi from Tochukwu. And of course, my guest in-house, Barrister Uthman Tochukwu, who is a constitutional and human rights lawyer and social analyst, for coming this morning. And of course, Segun Ojelase is a journalist as well as a social analyst. I appreciate you for being on the show. And of course, for you, my viewer, for watching the show, we do appreciate you. And we thank you most sincerely for being a part of the show. My name is Anire Binitie. Don't go away as our shows and programs on KAFTAN Television continue. Until next time, I am Anire. Take care and bye for now.